It's Big 12 Championship Week. We've got the game on Saturday. Let's talk about it between Texas Tech and BYU. I'm Pete Mundo, Heartland College Sports. We cover the Big 12. This is what we do. And all we want you to do, if you're new here, even if you're not, check. Subscribe to the channel right now. We appreciate you doing it. And hit the like button on the video if you're on YouTube. If you're on the podcast, 5-star rating and review always helps a lot. Okay. Let's get to the game. It's a rematch, of course, of a game from a few weeks back when on November 8th, Texas Tech beat BYU 29-7. First off, we're not getting the 29-7 game. We're not. BYU's going to keep it closer. Are they going to win? I'll get to that. But that game, to set the scene, that game was the biggest game in Lubbock since Michael Crabtree's game 17 years ago. Okay, everything in that game with game day and Mahomes and everything else cut in favor of Texas Tech, including that huge stage for BYU, Bear Bachmeier, the true freshman quarterback, being in over his head at times, LJ Martin not being entirely healthy, all those things cut Texas Tech's way. Now, neutral site. Now, it's still going to be heavily Tech. It's Dallas-Fort Worth, okay? A lot of Tech alum there. It will be a massive Tech presence, but BYU is not going to go quietly. Trust me, BYU fans are going to be heard. They're going to travel. They're going to show up on Saturday in Arlington. There's no doubt about it. But it's not a true road game. BYU has seen these guys before. Don't forget about the fact that LJ Martin is 100% healthy. He was held to 35 yards on 10 carries against Tech, but his status was questionable going into that game. He sat out the week prior. Well, he sat out, the second half against Iowa State with that shoulder injury. So a 100% healthy LJ Martin, along with a Bear Bachmeier who I believe is going to have to get the passing game going along with the running game, but a passing game going. That's how they're going to have to potentially win this game. Gives BYU a shot on a fast track in Arlington, Texas. Gives them a shot. But Texas Tech is obviously on another level this year. They're on another planet this year. I mean, we just saw them again blow out West Virginia 49-0 last Saturday. They are dominating all over the place. I am not taking anything away from what Texas Tech has done. I was back on the Tech bandwagon to cover the spread after some of you guys shamed me for the last few weeks. You said, Pete, you keep picking against Tech, not against them to lose, but against them to cover, and they're crushing it against the spread. I said, you're right. You're right. I'm making some mistakes here. I'm back on the bandwagon. And I have been for the last couple of weeks. Okay? But I also want to see a good game here for the Big 12's sake. The only way, and this is screwed up, but the only way the Big 12 is going to get two teams into the playoff is if BYU wins this game or they lose a nail-biter. And even if they lose a nail-biter, I hate to say, I think the committee's going to leave him out. Even though the resume at 11-2 would be better than Notre Dame, better than Miami, arguably better than Alabama, unless Alabama beats Georgia on Saturday. I mean, that's a whole nother part of the conversation. I'll keep this part of the conversation to the game. I'm just saying, from a college football playoff perspective, that's how this would have to go for the Big 12 to get two teams in. So my big question here for this game is, what did BYU learn from Lubbock? The BYU Cougars are great at home, not as good on the road. This game's neutral site. They're going up against a Tech defense that gives up less than 70 rushing yards per game. So if you go back to the one game Texas Tech lost on the road against Arizona State, what happened in that game? Sam Leavitt was really good. He threw the ball 47 times in that game. Threw for 319 yards. Outplayed Will Hammond because Baron Morton was injured for that game. And they won the turnover battle. Those two things happened. They won the turnover battle, and Sam Levitt outplayed Will Hammond. And they won through the air. Jordan Tyson was great in that game. He had 10 catches for 100-plus yards with a touchdown. That's how BYU is going to have to win. They know that they want to get the running game going. But BYU is not going to win the game that way. I see people saying, hey, BYU's got to do like 3 yards in a cloud of dust kind of thing and just kind of churn and burn this game. Texas Tech's not going to let you do that. Okay? I mean, that's kind of what they tried to do on the road last time around, and it didn't work. It didn't. Now, BYU has had major special teams mistakes in that game. I mean, they had a bunch of mistakes. Special teams, very unusual for BYU to have special teams mistakes. They've got to win the turnover battle, which both teams are top 10 in turnover margin in the country. So they're both really good in that category. Top 10 teams in turnover margin in the Big 12, or in the country, BYU and Texas Tech. They're both right there. But they got to win the turnover battle, and they've got to also find somebody through the air to get it done. That's what they're going to have to do. Whether that's Chase Roberts, whether it's Parker Kingston, Carson Ryan, maybe it's L.J. Martin out of the backfield. It might be that. If they don't think the offensive line can hold up against Texas Tech's front, and not many can, with David Bailey and Jacob Rodriguez at linebacker and all these guys up front, Hunter Lee, I mean, there's so many guys that you look at and you say to yourself, Lee Hunter, sorry. There's so many guys you look at and you say to yourself, man, how do you stop these guys? It's going to be hard. So whatever they draw up, BYU is going to have to get a passing game going and get it going quickly. They can't just sit there and think they're going to gain 3-4 yards on every carry on the ground and be predictable. Texas Tech won't let them win like that. Texas Tech's too good up front, and they're too good against the run to allow that to happen. So that's not how this game is going to go down if BYU's got a chance to win it. And then for Texas Tech, I hate to make it this simple, but Tech's the better team. They just can't take anything for granted. You know, I've seen this theory that maybe, and no one's serious about it. It's just like, hey, Tech, throw the Big 12 championship. So that way we can get 2 Big 12 teams into the playoff. Tech's never won a Big 12 title. This is uncharted territory for Texas Tech, all right? They're not doing that. No way. I think these guys are playing 60 full minutes, and I think Joey believes BYU is worthy, but he's not going. I mean, there's just no way. I don't think he's taking his foot off the pedal in this game. Okay, nor should he. No way. This team has done an amazing job in Lubbock not reading its own headlines and basically dominating almost every game they played in this season. I do not expect that to stop right now. In Lubbock, when these two teams met, Tech won the turnover battle 3-0. Do that again, and they will cruise to a victory. I don't expect them to do it again, 3-0, but if they pull that off again, they'll be in just fine shape. So I believe ultimately BYU is going to get more of an offense going in this game than they did in Lubbock. What Arizona State did to beat the Red Raiders, throw. It's too hard to run on these guys. But no matter what, I don't see it being enough against a Texas Tech team that has had a near-perfect season. BYU's got a stout defense as well. Okay? They do. There's no doubt about it. But I think, just like what you saw in the first meeting between these two teams, that defense will get worn down because there will be stretches of this game where the Cougars offense is not going to have sustained drives to give the defense the break that it needs. And Tech is going to pull away, get a comfortable victory, and claim their first ever Big 12 championship. My heart wants a close game for the Big 12 to try to get two teams into the playoff. But my head is telling me otherwise. I'm going Texas Tech 30, BYU 17, with a Tech cover on the 12.5 points. 11.5, 12.5, depending on where you look at it. That is my official Big 12 championship game pick between Texas Tech and BYU. Tech wins and covers the spread. I'm Pete Mundo, Heartland College Sports. Please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. We'll have reaction shows, we'll have college football playoff shows, and much more coming your way right here at heartlandcollegesports.com. Have a great day and enjoy the game.